Hello and welcome to the Target UPSC Prelims 2024 series, and this is the current affairs program, and the subject that we will be discussing today is environment and geography. So this is the 6th episode of environment and geography. So let's begin. The first topic is International Leopard Day. So recently International Leopard Day was observed on May 3, 2023, 3rd of May. On this occasion, a new portal has been launched by the Cape Leopard Trust to promote the leopards globally and its conservation. Now about leopards, the scientific name is Panthera pardus. And leopard is elusive and roams at night, whose size and color depends on its habitat. So it is not easy to find leopard when they are walking. It is an excellent climber and hunts by hiding in trees. So look at this image of a leopard. Leopards are members of the cat family, which are found in Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, southern Russia and the Indian subcontinent. And if we talk about the big cat families, there are two species which are not found in India, and that is puma and jaguar. While lion, tigers, leopards, cheetahs, they are all found in India also. Then the Indian leopard is found widely in the Indian subcontinent. These areas are quite favorable in terms of habitat and food requirements of the leopard, like for example rural agricultural sector. So they are very much found in these areas. Forest area, this is very obvious because it is their natural habitat. Then near human habitation, both rural and urban. This you can say among three least possible or least likely to happen. Then Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change releases report on the status of leopards in India, and recently it has been seen that India's leopard numbers have rose or have climbed by 8% in 2022, and the total number reaches 13,874, and the highest number of leopards were reported in Madhya Pradesh, that is around 3,900, second or followed by Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And if we look at the numbers of Madhya Pradesh, then it is around double of what is Maharashtra, which is at the second position. So Madhya Pradesh is leading by a good margin. And on the other hand, the state of Uttarakhand has reported a decline of 22% in the number of or in the count of leopards. Then followed by Karnataka and Maharashtra. Then the conservation status of leopards. So the IUCN Red List status is vulnerable. CITES is Appendix 1 and Wildlife Protection Act 1972 is also Schedule 1. So it needs highest degree of protection. So the highest degree of protection they need, because IUCN Red List vulnerable, CITES Appendix 1 and Wildlife Protection Act 1972 Schedule 1. These are important facts which can be asked in the examination. Now second topic, that is tracking SDG 7, that is the Energy Progress Report 2023. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goal, and it is talking about the 7th Sustainable Development Goal. So recently the IEA, which is the International Energy Agency, it has released a tracking SDG 7, the Energy Progress Report 2023. So it is released by IEA in collaboration with the International Renewable Energy Agency, United Nations Statistics Division, World Bank and the WHO, which is the World Health Organization. So many different organizations have collaborated with each other. The report identifies several key economic factors that hinder the achievement of SDG 7 globally. So now let's talk about the key points of the report. That is, first of all, what is SDG 7? So it talks about clean and affordable energy. So it is associated with clean and affordable energy. So factors hindering the achievement of SDG 7 are: first, that is high inflation, uncertain macroeconomic outlook, debt crisis, limited financial flows. They are few of the challenges in achieving the SDG 7. Now progress towards the specific goals. First one being access to electricity. So global access to electricity increased from 84% to 91%. So the access to electricity, it means more people are now able to get access of the electricity, and this rise has taken from 84% to 91% from 2010 to 2021, and the annual growth rate has been little slow. Then renewable energy, that is goal 7.2, that is use of renewable energy has increased since 2010, but still needs to be increased substantially because the increase has been slow. The share of renewable energy in total final energy consumption was 9.1. Then meeting international climate and energy target requires an annual investment of US 1.4 to 1.7 trillion renewable electricity generation and related infrastructure by the year 2030. So the target year is 2030 with regard to electricity generation and infrastructure. Sustainable Development Goal 7, it calls for affordable so that every person on this planet can take or use it, reliable, sustainable, long-lasting and modern energy for all by 2030. So here also the target year is 2030. Its three main goals until 2030 is Target 7.1, that is it ensure universal access to affordable, reliable and modern energy services. Target 7.2, substantially increase the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. So renewable energy increase. Target 7.3, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. So the improvement in energy efficiency, the rate should increase. Then comes the next topic, that is the World Environment Day 2023. So the World Environment Day in 2023 was celebrated on 5th of June, and this was the 50th anniversary of the World Environment Day. It is celebrated as World Environment Day every year since 1973 by UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program. So this was the 50th anniversary, becomes important, can be asked. Then the objective is to create awareness about the conservation of life on planet Earth. Every year World Environment Day is organized with a new theme, and the theme for the year 2023 is Beat Plastic Pollution. Many a times now we see that themes is also asked in the prelims exam. In the year 2023 it was jointly hosted by the Netherlands and the West African country Côte d'Ivoire. Important point to remember that which all countries were jointly hosting it. So it is Netherlands and Côte d'Ivoire. Then on this occasion, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has launched two schemes, and these two schemes are, first is the Amrit Dharohar and then MISTI. MISTI stands for Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Incomes. Tangible means something which can be touched. Then comes next, that is the status of tiger report. So the National Tiger Conservation Authority, that is NTCA, it has released a report, and the title of the report is Status of Tiger, Co-Predators and Prey in India 2022. So status of tigers, co-predators and prey in India 2022. So key points of the report is, first is about land area. So there are a total of 55 tiger reserves in India, important point to remember, which are spread over 2.3% of India's land area. So in total, how many tiger reserves are there? 55. Currently, about 75% of the world's tiger population exists in India. That is true. Highest number of tigers in the world can be found in India, and that too in states like Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh. Then a significant increase in tiger population has been recorded in central India, the Shivalik Hill and the Ganga Plains. The number of tigers in the country has increased from from counting in 2000, it has reached to the counting in 3000, that to more than 3500. And states with maximum number of tigers are Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttarakhand, Maharashtra. States with minimum number of tigers is Nagaland, Mizoram, Jharkhand, Goa, Arunachal Pradesh. So basically you can see that the northeastern states have low population of tiger. So reserves with highest number of tigers: Uttarakhand, Jim Corbett; Karnataka, Bandipur; Karnataka, Nagarhole; Madhya Pradesh, Bandhavgarh; and Uttar Pradesh, Dudhwa Tiger Reserve. Now few of the techniques which are used to count the tigers. First is M strips. So first is about M strips, and that is monitoring system for tiger intensive protection and ecological status. In this technique, global positioning system, that is GPS, and remote sensing are used to collect information from the tiger habitat area. So using M strips, the count of tigers can be done, and it uses the GPS technique and the remote sensing technique also. Then second, capture, mark, recapture. So capture, mark, recapture, that is the mark of the tigers they are looked into. So the capture, mark, recapture based on camera trap. So in this, a camera is used to see or to trap the tigers. So camera trap survey is a proven method to estimate tiger population and density. So look at this image. So this is how the cameras are placed on the trees which capture the tiger. In areas where camera trapping is not possible, molecular tools are used to confirm the presence of tigers, and in this the DNA is detected with the help of feces. Then comes next, which is the status of birds of India report 2023. So the status of birds of India report. So recently a report named Status of Birds of India 2023 has been released, and it has been released in collaboration with the WII, with the Wildlife Institute of India, and ZSI, which is the Geological Survey of India. And it is a periodic assessment on the distribution, area, population, trends, and conservation status of major bird species of India. So it basically talks about the distribution area, in what area they are distributed, then comes the population, trend, and what is the conservation status of these bird species in India. Then few of the key points of these birds are: first, the number of bird species has declined due to commercial monocultural gardening, urbanization, development of basic infrastructure, and climate change. So the number of bird species, or the number, is declining. The highest decline of more than 50% has been recorded in long distance migratory birds, because now they are not able to find that area where they can go and migrate and reside for that temporary period. Shorebirds that breed in the Arctic have been particularly affected, with their numbers declining by nearly 80%. As one of the reasons, or the foremost reason, can be the climate change and the rising temperature, and also the burning of the, or the melting of the glaciers. Then the number of several bird species such as the Indian peacock, rock pigeon, Asian cuckoo, and common crow are showing an increase. So even though decline is taking place, but on the other hand, in some species, increase is, number of species being increased is also taking place. Then major birds and their habitat areas. Let's talk about the birds which are endangered. So that is first being the Indian skimmer. It is found in the area around the region of Chambal, Ganga, Mahanadi, Yamuna, and Son river. So basically you can talk about the central India and the northern India. Black-tailed tern, found in the areas around the Chambal, Mahanadi, Ganga, Son, Godavari, and Yamuna rivers. So these are endangered. Then let's talk about the critically endangered. So that is the great Indian bustard. Very important, very important, has been asked by the UPSC. Great Indian bustard, Rajasthan, Gujarat. So do not think that great Indian bustard are only limited to Rajasthan, Gujarat also. Then Bengal florican. So they are found in the Himalayan foothills, grasslands of Uttar Pradesh and northeast India. like for example Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. Then bears pochard, which are found in the wetlands of Assam and Manipur. Now let's talk about the Zoological Survey of India. Question can be asked from this because we have seen that the questions are being asked from the bodies or the organization responsible. So the ZSI was established in the year 1916 and the nodal ministry is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and the objective is to explore the diversity of wild animals of the country. So the wild animals of the country, the diversity, how diverse the wild animals of India are, the objective of ZSI is to see that. Next comes the report on Inclusive Conservation Initiative, ICI, that is the Inclusive Conservation Initiative. So recently the GEF, which is the Global Environment Facility, and the Conservation International, they have released a report, that is ICI. So GEF, that is Global Environment Facility, with and Conservation International, that is CI. So they both are responsible for ICI. Key points about the report, what it talks about is that indigenous people account for 40% of terrestrial protected areas and 37% of ecologically intact lands. So the indigenous people play a very important role. Then land management by indigenous people has equal or even greater success in reducing deforestation than government efforts, because the indigenous people, they are very much aware about the soil and also how the forest is going to respond, or what are the techniques which will be best suited to reduce deforestation and to increase reforestation. Then less than 1% of climate change mitigation and adaptation funding goes to indigenous and local communities. Less than 1%. So not even 1% funding is going to them. Then only 7% of it has reached the IPLC, which is the adaptation funding indigenous and local communities. Now about the Inclusive Conservation Initiative, that is ICI. So it was launched by the Global Environment Facility in the year 2022. So it has recently been launched. Its objective is to promote through IPLC the protection of land, marine areas and terrestrial areas with high biodiversity and non-replaceable ecosystems. So the basic idea or objective is with regard to the protection of land, marine areas and terrestrial areas. Then 4 main components of it are: first, local action to deliver global environmental benefits; second, capacity building of global IPLC; third, IPLC leadership in international environmental policy; and fourth, IPLC inclusive conservation knowledge for action. So these are the 4 main components. Next comes the Global Landscape of Climate Finance 2023 report. Recently, the Climate Policy Initiative has released the Global Landscape for Climate Finance 2023 report. So Climate Policy Initiative, CPI. So it has launched it. Climate finance is such finance which is used for mitigation of the problem of climate change. So the finance which will help in reducing the effects of climate change. Mitigation is about tackling the causes of climate change and how to stop it or how to reduce it. It is also used to finance adaptation related work, that how to adapt the techniques which will help in the reduction of climate change. Adaptation works is about dealing with the effects of climate change, and for this the funds are raised from public, private and alternative sources. So the funds are raised from different sites. It can be public, it can be private, and the alternative sources can also be used. Key points are that the average climate finance flows at the annual level in 2021-2022. This amount is almost double that of previous year. So the amount with regard to financing to prevent climate change is increasing, and 90% of the increase in climate finance has gone to big countries like China, US, Europe, Brazil, Japan or India is also a part of it. Although climate finance has not been received equally across sectors, the energy and transport sectors receive the majority of climate finance. Energy and transport sectors. So the logistics will also help. Private sector accounts for 49% of total climate finance. So the private sector is also contributing good. Then there is a steady decline in the availability of finance for adaptation, and around 98% of the finance available for adaptation comes from the public sector. So finance is also coming from public sector and private sector, more from public, less from private. Then global climate finance system. So what is global climate finance system? First is about the GEF, which is the Global Environment Facility. So it was established during the Rio Earth Summit in 1992. It is a unique partnership of 183 agencies working together in 18 countries. So there are many countries involved in it. Then the mandate is to solve the world's most challenging environmental problems, and as of now, climate change is one of it. Now about the adaptation fund. So adaptation fund was established in 2001 during the Kyoto Protocol. Then you should know that during which protocol or which summit which fund came into the picture. Objective is to finance better adaptation projects and schemes in developing countries. Then Special Climate Change Fund. It was established in the year 2001 to finance projects related to adaptation, technology transfer and capacity building, energy, transportation, etc. So basically it is how to deal with the climate change. Then next, that is the Least Developing Countries Fund. As the name itself is telling, this is about giving the funding to the least developing countries. It was established to provide assistance to the least developing countries in the formulation and implementation of NAPAS, which is the National Adaptation Program of Action. Then Green Climate Fund, established in the year 2010 under the Cancun Agreement. Objective is to promote the goals set by developing countries under the NDCs, which is the nationally determined contribution, and every country has their own NDCs. Next comes the State of Finance for Nature 2023 report. So recently the UNEP, which is the United Nations Environment Program, it has released a report titled State of Finance for Nature 2023. So UNEP. And this report also provides information related to public and private finance flows for NBS, that is the nature-based solutions. It is used to tackle global challenges related to biodiversity loss, land degradation and climate change. Then it estimates for the first time the global cost of nature damaging activities by both public and private organizations. So public and private organizations both are there. Important points, few of the important points with regard to this. First is the current finance flow in NBS. So it is in US dollars 200 billion, which is only 1/3 of the finance required. So more finance is there. Then nature negative finance, it is estimated to be around US dollars 7 trillion per year. So huge in numbers. And financing activities that have a potentially negative impact on nature is called nature negative or nature damaging finance. It means something which is causing negative impact on the nature, like for example burning of the fossil fuels. Then what is NBS? That is the nature based solutions. So they are actions taken to protect, substantially manage and restore natural and modified ecosystems. So it basically work towards protecting the ecosystem. These can help in addressing social challenges in an effective and adaptive manner. That it can be, adaptation should also be there and effectiveness should also be there. They are also beneficial for people and nature. Like for example, reforestation and afforestation. It means planting more and more trees, and if the plantation of trees is less, then looking for techniques which helps in planting more and more trees so that the number of trees increases. Then restoration of wetlands, this also helps in increasing the environment and also helps in preserving the ecosystem. And green infrastructure, so green infrastructure as of now is the need of the hour, specifically with regard to the urban areas. So this was it from this episode 6 of environment and geography. So we discussed few of the topics like State of Finance for Nature 2023 report, then Global Landscape of Climate Finance 2023 report on Inclusive Conservation Initiative, Status of Birds of India report 2023, Status of Tiger report, World Environment Day 2023, then Tracking SDG 7, the Energy Progress report 2023, then comes International Leopard Day. So these were the topics that we discussed in this episode of Environment and Geography. So in the coming episodes, we will be discussing few more topics like these. So stay tuned with us, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.